Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Holmes. A setback for Chemung County's redistricting plan. County Executive Chris Moss has vetoed that redistricting plan because of claims of a lack of diversity and racism. The redistricting committee was made up of 5 white men. Moss had requested the committee include more women and minorities to better match the population makeup in Chemung County. Moss claims that one committee member has a history of making racist and derogatory comments about minorities and women, and another member used a personal email when conducting business. Moss now wants an independent redistricting committee to be set up that he believes will better serve the people of Chemung County. A woman from Painted Post has learned her punishment for killing a man while driving drunk. Tanya Smith has been sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison. She was found guilty of killing 66-year-old Donald Mastey while driving under the influence in Bath last May. New York State Governor Kathy Hochul announced a new statewide hotline for victims of workplace sexual harassment. That hotline, 1-800-HARASS-3, will connect New Yorkers to pro bono attorneys. Governor Hochul stated, quote, "Every worker deserves access to resources to protect themselves from sexual harassment." They're called Little Gather events, but they are a big deal at the Corning Museum of Glass. Our Maggie Hall stopped by the museum to check out this kids' summer event.
Today, Little Gather hosted Perry Ground, an Indigenous storyteller.
I am a Turtle Clan member of the Onondaga Nation.
Little Gather is a summertime kids series put on by the Corning Museum of Glass. These performances are free for the community. Director of the series, Evan Hill, explained the series is programmed for preschoolers to age 8, but he added, if you think you'd be interested in a performance, come on down. Ground believes events like Little Gather are great for children.
In the forest, and he would yell, "Everybody, come out and look at my tail. I have the best."
It's so important that we have diverse education so that we learn more about each other and we become closer together as a community. And storytelling is a very fun and inclusive way to do it.
The Talking Turtle himself shared stories of Indigenous myths and legends, even incorporating the audience into his tales.
Yeah, my stories are very modern, very fun, very upbeat, very inclusive. I include the audience in the stories, make them part of the traditional tale. So even though the story itself is very old, the way that I tell it is very modern.
Little Gather opens its doors in the museum auditorium every Wednesday at 11 a.m. for the public. For group reservations, call 607-438-5429 or contact Little Gather at cmog.org. After every Little Gather event, the little attendees and the adults that come with them have the opportunity to explore the rest of the Corning Museum of Glass for free. For more information on these cool events, be sure to visit the Corning Museum of Glass online. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
You can now get tickets to this year's New York State Fair. Tickets cost $3. If you want to buy them in advance, you'll have to order online at the New York State Fair website or buy the tickets over the phone. Tickets will also be available for purchase on day of at the fair. Admission is free for those 12 and under and 65 and over. With temperatures expected in the 90s for most of this week, people here in the southern tier are doing their best to cope with that heat. Public health officials recommend drinking around 10 glasses of water to stay properly hydrated and to limit your exposure in the sun. The experts advise that following guidelines like these are the best way to keep safe and hydrated during this heat. Unable to get his climate change legislation through Congress, President Biden announced his own plan in Massachusetts on Wednesday. Democrats are hailing his actions, but critics claim it could raise energy prices in an already inflationary era. Carolyn Shively reports from Washington.
While the unrelenting heat is helping fuel wildfires in northern Texas and triggering air quality alerts in New Jersey, the president travels to Massachusetts today to announce executive actions to fight climate change.
He's going to make it clear that just because Congress couldn't get it done, he is going to move forward with every power available to him to make the change and the shift to clean energy, because it's important.
Some Democrats are cheering the president's go-it-alone move after Senator Joe Manchin pulled support from an economic package containing billions of dollars to fight global warming, citing inflation concerns.
We think it's important for the president now to take executive action. That's not going to be enough. And we can't lead the world when we have one person on our side who's killing all of that legislation.
Republicans, meanwhile, say the president should focus on lowering gas and electricity prices and supporting existing technology.
This great transition to different energies that the president is talking about. I don't know if he grasps the fact that there is still a huge gap in this country between renewable energy and reliable energy.
He's going to push more and more subsidies into solar and wind, which at the end of the day cannot keep the grid up. You've got to have a base load power supply, either fossil fuels or nuclear, to keep your grid going.
President Biden had considered declaring a national climate emergency, but White House officials say that will not happen this week. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Blueberries are being recalled due to possible unsafe lead levels. Pouches of Natiera organic freeze-dried blueberries are being recalled due to concerns of too much lead. According to the FDA, heavy metal content was found after testing in a lab in Maryland. The recall involves blueberries with best buy dates of December 2024 and January 2025. They were sold online and in retail stores. The Ukrainian First Lady making a heartfelt appeal to the United States Congress as soldiers in the war-torn country continue to fight for their sovereignty. Lucas Tomlinson has more.
We have information today, including from downgraded intelligence, that we're able to share with you about how Russia is laying the groundwork to annex Ukrainian territory that it controls in direct violation of Ukraine's sovereignty.
New fears facing Ukraine as evidence mounts Russia's plan to take over more territory. According to U.S. officials, Russia's installing its own leaders in areas under its control, while eyeing several more regions to annex.
The Russian government is reviewing detailed plans to purportedly annex a number of regions in Ukraine, including Kherson, Zaporizhia, all of Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts.
Meanwhile, those in the war-torn country, particularly in the east and south, are dealing with constant shelling. Several people killed and even more injured, according to local officials. Ukraine's president says he hopes more help is on the way and describes the recent attacks as, quote, terrorism.
Increasing American support for Ukraine, additional assistance to protect people from Russian terror, meeting humanitarian needs, these are all the tasks of the First Lady of Ukraine's visit to the United States.
Wednesday, Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelenska shared new details about the war while addressing members of Congress on Capitol Hill.
And today I want to address you as politicians and party representatives, as well as mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers, daughters and sons.
British intelligence says over 2 million Ukrainians have been sent to camps inside Russia against their will. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
When will we get any relief from this extreme heat? Your complete forecast is next. Plus, this.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
The bright sunshine this Wednesday was able to bring temperatures almost to record-breaking conditions. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and we nearly missed the record here in Elmira just by about a few degrees as we kept under that bright sunshine. Now, there were some changes as we stepped into the evening hours, and through the overnight, we'll see those changes work their way in through the morning commute. As after midnight is when we're expecting some showers and thunderstorms to be spreading their way across portions of New York. We've been seeing that threat hold off to more of the west of the region as we've trended over the last 24 hours, but the risk is still going to be in place through tomorrow. So note that you'll want to have the umbrellas and the dry layers ready, as temperatures also are going to stay fairly mild. We'll only drop into those lower 70s as a low. Temperatures typically this time of the year, we even drop into those lower 60s. So as we head into that chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the morning, we'll keep the chance around even through the afternoon. So keeping in mind that scattered thunder threat is going to, though, bring little to no severe threat to the area. However, there is going to be another chance as
as we head into your Friday forecast that we'll have to keep an eye on for any severe potential. And then we will keep those temperatures on the warmer side at least through Saturday. We could see that Saturday could be a fairly similar day to what we experienced today under the bright sunshine and mid-90s for a high temperature. But if you are looking at more comfortable, if you're looking for more comfortable conditions, it looks like our forecast does show a cooling trend as we head into next week, with temperatures hugging more average for this time of the year. So extending into the forecast, as mentioned, the severe threat when it comes to those thunderstorms for your Thursday does remain off to the east of us, more across portions of northeastern of New England, I should say, excuse me. But what we'll see is still some few general rumbles of thunder in place as that thunderstorm line moves its way through. So here we are. This is Thursday at 1 a.m. So just after midnight, that line of storms moves through. You will watch as it heads towards the Elmira area. There is some weakening of that line of storms, but it is going to linger across Elmira and Corning, which is going to cause for development of some more scattered showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon and evening. So note the threat will be around throughout much of the day, but we're not expecting much for accumulation. Maybe a few hundredths of an inch, so not going to bring any saturation to what are very dry soils out there. But as we head into your Thursday forecast, as we stay underneath that scattered showers and thunderstorms as mentioned, temperatures still warm, but with some passing cloud cover and shower activity, it will definitely dwindle those temperatures to hold into the 80s. Now that's closer to average, but still slightly above average. By Friday, those temperatures continue to hug what we were seeing on your Thursday, maybe a degree or two warmer if we have a drier morning forecast. And then by the afternoon, we could be bringing in the threat for some stronger storms, as right now there's a marginal risk in place from Elmira through Albany. So we'll keep an eye on that zone for the potential of some stronger winds and some larger hail, as well as some isolated tornadoes. But then we will turn dry for your Saturday, but very warm with a high of 94 degrees. We'll hang on to those 90s for one more day on Sunday, but a stronger system is going to start to knock those temperatures down, but could also bring some stronger storms to the area Sunday evening.
Getting more people hooked on electric vehicles might be a challenge, but automakers are racing to find solutions. Marianne Rafferty has a look at the exciting evolution of EVs.
A growing number of auto manufacturers are at a crossroads as they try and figure out how to incentivize more Americans to swap out their gas-guzzling cars for electric vehicles.
Make it more available for more mainstream buyers.
For many, the answer lies in giving customers more models they desire at prices that agree with their wallets, with companies now trying to ramp up production of affordable electric compact SUVs.
That's a really popular space for the market. It's where a lot of consumers live. It's where they want to be.
And the pressure to succeed in this sector of the market could be getting fierce. General Motors CEO recently recommitting to plans for GM to beat out Tesla and sell more EVs in the U.S. by the middle of this decade.
To really get to 30, 40, 50% EVs being sold, you have to appeal to people that, are in that $30,000 to $35,000 price range.
Meanwhile, as the focus remains on getting more electric vehicles on the roads to help combat climate change, researchers at Indiana University say this strategy won't necessarily guarantee lower greenhouse gas emissions, as that depends on how the electricity for the vehicle is generated.
If it's generated by natural gas or coal, then the beneficial effect to the environment is going to be smaller than if it's generated with renewable energy sources.
But while the variety of EVs is expanding and the number of sales are rising, analysts say many Americans are still hesitant to make the switch, with electric vehicles still only making up roughly 5% of new vehicle sales.
The U.S. Postal Service is adding more electric cars to its fleet. Apple agrees to pay millions over faulty keyboards, and the FDA calls for more oversight. Chris Foster has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
The head of the Food and Drug Administration wants the agency to review its food and tobacco programs. FDA Chief Robert Califf announcing a non-governmental research group will convene experts to evaluate policies. The group will deliver their findings within 60 days. The review comes after the FDA faced heavy criticism over its handling of the nationwide baby formula shortage and e-cigarettes applications from Juul and other vaping companies. The U.S. Postal Service is going electric as it works to replace its aging fleet. The agency says it plans to buy at least 25,000 electric delivery trucks. These trucks will be part of a 50,000 next-generation delivery truck order it has with Oshkosh Defense. Apple agrees to pay $50 million to settle a class-action lawsuit over its Butterfly keyboards. The keyboards were initially intended to help slim down laptops and were included on MacBooks from 2015 to 2019. But customers complained the keyboards were too sticky, with easily broken keys, and were prone to trapping dust and debris. As part of the settlement, Apple denied any wrongdoing and denied that any MacBooks were defective. A judge still needs to approve the agreement. Amazon takes its fight against fake product reviews to court. The online retailer is suing more than 10,000 Facebook group administrators for recruiting people to leave fake reviews in exchange for money or free products. Information found during legal proceedings will be used by Amazon to remove fraudulent reviews connected to the groups. It will also be used to identify repeat offenders. The company's already removed some 200 million suspected fake reviews from the marketplace.
Still ahead, a nonprofit working to open opportunities for people with disabilities. That story and more coming up. July is Disability Pride Month, and the summer is also when the nonprofit Respectability holds its annual entertainment lab. The goal is to develop talent and introduce creatives to industry professionals. We learn more about it and its alumni already making moves forward in representation on screen. Here's Ashley Dvorkin.
Nonprofit Respectability fights stigmas and advances opportunities for people with disabilities. The group consults across all entertainment platforms, and Lauren Applebaum, Vice President of Communications and Entertainment and News Media, says it's a key collaboration to have from the start.
I always try to illustrate the importance of having folks be on very early, from like the very early development stage, all the way through promotion.
Respectability is holding their 4th annual entertainment lab. Applebaum shared one project called Roommates, created in part by lab alum writer-director Ashley Eakin, as a great example of representation on screen right now.
Are you my roommate? This short, which was at South by 2022, features 2 young women starting off college. It's lighthearted. You have, one actress who uses a wheelchair, another actress who's an amputee.
A goal of the lab is developing behind-the-scenes talent and making industry connections.
It's an opportunity for our lab participants to be exposed to employers, to these gatekeepers, to hopefully get jobs within the studios. It also allows our hosts at the studios to see a group of people with both visible and non-visible disabilities and potentially change their mindset in hiring.
Applebaum says they have alumni at almost every major studio, and a hope is one opportunity leads to many.
That's really the goal of all the work that we do here at Respectability, is to really be able to provide opportunities for people to advance, and then for them to turn around and pull people in with them when they get to the chance of hiring as well.
A mom says she's grateful to finally feel like herself again after her son grew his hair out and then donated it to make a wig for her. Anita Roman has more on this touching story.
Like, it's so thick and spectacular and comfortable. And it's my son's hair.
A moment of levity, of gratitude between a mother and son over a wig.
Seeing her in it, it's the first time I had seen my mom look like that since she lost it. So it's been about 4 years. That's how I remember it.
For 2.5 years, Matt grew out his hair after his mom lost hers. Out of 6 kids, his was the closest in color and texture.
I have had a recurrent benign brain tumor, a pituitary tumor, and I've had surgery twice, in 2003 and in 2006. I was very surprised when my tumor returned in 2017. And I had radiation, and radiation took my hair. So I have not had any hair since Valentine's Day of 2018.
That's a no-brainer. She gave me the hair in the first place.
The day Matt cut his hair, Melanie says everyone cried tears of joy, relief that she could feel like herself again.
I've lost my eyebrows, lost my eyelashes, lost my hair. So it's just been such a tremendous gift to be able to have a more normal appearance, to go places and not stand out because you look unusual, but to fit in and be beautiful. It's really great.
Stay with us. We'll have more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile, and what better way to do that than with puppies? 2 new comfort dogs joined the puppy police force in Oakland County, Michigan. Meet Sadie and Wildcat, 2 of the department's latest additions to its Comfort Dog program. The newest adorable additions join the already sworn-in 6 King Charles Cavalier Spaniels, serving the community by bringing smiles and calm to situations where they're needed most. Officers involved in the program say it's amazing to see just how effective these dogs are at their jobs. Comfort Dogs have been a part of the Oakland County Sheriff's Office for 3 years now, helping the officers out in many situations, but most notably, ones involving a mental health crisis. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.